Hey, hold on real quick. Hold on. Pause.
Let's start this bitch up. Hello?
Don't at me. Episode 38.
Trey 8.
Getting up
38
there.
special.
We'll be at 40
You know what I'm
soon.
saying? Hey, it is kind of a special one, man. It's the day before my birthday.
Yeah, it is. By the time
I'm about
most
to
of
be-
you hear this, it will be.
I'm about to be 31.
31, man.
30
31.
fun.
Man,
31.
it's weird, dude. Like being in our 30s and it's happening now, you know, like during all this shit.
Yeah. It's actually kind of like a coming of age thing for me. I feel like, at least, you know.
Yeah. It's kind of grounds you.
Like I've done a lot of growing in the last year, actually.
Yeah. Makes you focus on what matters. Well, look, let's do the intros like usual. I'm Mike, your chance. Joc is out
Yep.
today.
It's your boy.
He's been busy, just being active, I think, just voting and whatnot.
Yeah, he said something about voting. I voted yesterday. I was just telling you about that right before we started recording. It's just like the runoff, I guess, for like the prime. I don't know, something. But it was easy, man. It was like only like 5 things on my ballot, and I got rid of that. I got through that shit like 3 minutes straight up. Like right down the street.
Right now, though, you're like, look, he's stink dissing on Jack for like not getting to make it on.
Oh,
I'm kidding,
not really.
kidding.
Nah, I mean, shout out to Jack, you know what I'm saying? Everybody got, you know, it's good to do your homework on who you're voting for or whatnot, because a lot of us don't, especially young people, you know. I know for sure the people that are younger than me, man, because it seems like all the people that are around me that are younger than me are just like, I don't know what it is, man. It's something about them.
From society.
Like, I'm not trying to, you know, cap or nothing, but damn, man, y'all got a lot of learning to do. I always feel like I'm teaching anytime I'm talking, you know, to young people. But I guess that's a good thing.
I think a lot of it too is perseverance. I always say this year is a reminder that we just have to persevere. You
For
know,
sure.
we're
Speaking
all
of
challenged, you know, like we're all facing a lot, you know, and this year a lot is magnified. You know,
it's definitely a realization to everyone, or should be like a wake up call for, you know, everyone has problems. Not only does everyone have the same problem, but everyone has, you know, other problems that they're dealing with, you know, and I mean, more power to them. If you are persevering in this time, I mean, like, shit, you know, you're one of the strong ones. Like, shit, you will survive. Like that disco song that I will survive, you know.
Yeah, the replacement players.
Hell yeah,
replacements. Yeah, that's what it was. Where they had this.
Yo, they should do that. You know what I'm saying? If you know, no sports, like, I mean, I know sports are like working out and shit, like we, you know, pretty green in all of them. But you know, if it wasn't to happen,
I'd watch it.
I would definitely like play on like a replacement team. I'd try out. You know what I'm saying, like the movie with Mark Wahlberg.
That's kind of like what the XFL is, though.
Yeah, but nah, them niggas good. You know, like PJ Walker and shit. Like, nigga cold, man. Hey, hopefully, I'm surprised like he hasn't signed anyone. Like, yeah, you know, that's kind of weird. But because like that XFL shit was kind of exciting. Too bad that shit like kind of, you know, went under. But
well, in other news, other things going under.
Yeah, let's get it going, man. Let's get to the docket.
Yeah. Things going under. News hit, at least I saw it yesterday, which was Monday, by the time y'all are hearing this on Wednesday. Anyway, Dr. Dre getting a divorce. Dr. Dre, as you all know, from NWA days, Chronic, started with Eminem, 50 Cent, legend.
Yeah, man. Dre is definitely, I mean, his family tree is huge. He's a patriarch of many things, you know. But man, being a billionaire, you know,
his worth,
and getting that's fucking divorce. He didn't have a prenup apparently.
Right, and that's kind of the point of it all is that, all right, no prenup. He, you know, sold beats a couple years ago. Let me pull up the story now. Sold beats for billions, you know, but the specific news, okay, let's get into the details. He's been with his wife 24 years. Nicole Young. They
Mhm.
are moving to dissolve their marriage, citing irreconcilable differences.
That's
And
kind of a bullshit ass
over
like
24
way.
years,
Yeah, it's like
something must
we
have
don't
happened.
agree. You know, we agree to disagree that we don't agree. You know what I'm
Something
saying?
must
That's
have
like a
happened. I mean,
maybe he
I
gave her
don't
the
know.
beats. You know what I'm saying? He's known for it.
So Dre,
No,
55, and then she was 50. They've been together almost 25 years. All of their kids, 23 and 19, are older than 18, so there's no child support situation. But still, man,
okay.
Forbes estimated his worth to be 800 million.
Mm,
And I mean,
damn.
divorces,
He's
that's usually half, right?
Why is that? Can we get into that real quick? Just a little bit. Why is that, man? That's kind of a. I mean, I know it's a sore subject, and you know she deserves something. I'm not saying that, but you're like, yo, she wasn't in the stew with him. Like, yo, nah, that sounds tight. You know what I'm saying? Nah, put the hi hats on that shit, son. Like, and I'm not saying like maybe she was, you know, but like I don't know, but I'm pretty sure there's a 80 to 85% chance that she wasn't. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I
why
mean,
are wives
inspirational,
entitled to
right?
that shit?
Like inspirational, being there for him at hard times. That I get. It's always you have the support.
Nah, not if you really got reconcile, whatever
But
the
that's what
however
I'm
you say that
saying. Like,
word.
yeah, but she, like you said, she's not in there mixing the beats. She's not in there,
Nah,
talking
yeah, you
about look
should.
out for detox.
Yeah, it should be like some
Trying
type
to
of
slap MD
test.
Barnes.
Yeah, it should be some type of test or something like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, for you to like, get like half of someone's worth and all of like the businesses and shit they like have. You know what I'm saying? Like, it should be like some tax test or like some standardized test. You know what I'm saying? To like qualify you to like get that much.
So
Like tiers and shit.
I've been trying to find a stat to show how many people in America have, kind of, if it's a clean cut, she gets 400 million. How many people in America have more money than her? Each of them separately now have so much money. I'm trying to see the numbers, but I found this DQYDJ. I don't know what the hell that is, but it says how many Americans have more than 50 million or 100 million dollars in net worth. They estimate somewhere around 80,000 households with 50 million or more, 36,000 households with 100 million or more. And that's the top 0.07, 0.03% of households. So just for, being there for him throughout his career, 25 years, supporting him, she's going to
Sucking
be in
his dick.
the top 0.03%. That's nuts. And I'm not saying anything about
That's a
worth or
shitty
anything like that, but
system.
it's just a crazy concept that they have irreconcilable differences, and that's how
Yo,
much is technically at stake.
that's fucking wild, man. Yo, you know what? With that being said, man, I really believe that like not only do we need like reform in like criminal justice system and in law enforcement and all that good shit, we need just like reform in a like everything. Like we gotta really like look at our like system, like how you could get rich off of being like married to someone. They are like successful in what they do and they make a shit ton of money, and you could just be like, oh, like it's over, and like file for divorce, and because you already like like obviously like paid in some type of way, so you can
Right.
afford a lawyer and shit like that. So like you just file for divorce and like you come up on, like you said, like $400 million, like some shit like that. I mean, that's like for nothing, I mean, 24 years, that's a long time, but like you've lived a lifestyle that like that was kind of given to you, like just because like you're somebody's partner. And I
Right.
mean, it could go both ways, but I mean, like I don't know, man. I feel like there's way like less of a percent of men that get that type of money, because like I feel like it only goes one way, and that like
I
is
will
that way
say
of
this
looking at it.
though. I remember Adele had a divorce recently, right?
Hey, Adele got fined apparently.
Yeah, she
She
did.
ain't like Chucky no more.
Well, she was always pretty,
I
but
mean, she was always yeah. Don't get me wrong. She was always like mad cute and shit, but like nah. She kind of got a big ass lollipop head though.
so it says, I mean, they're just rumors. I don't know if there's fact to this, but it said the rumors were that her ex was going to get 140 of her reported 190 million net worth. So apparently she would get 50 million and he would get 140. Now again, this is rumors, but what? How does that work?
Yeah. How does that work? Seriously.
What?
I mean, that's a come up, I guess, but I don't know. But I mean, this shit's been going on since the like, you know, that's like
They said
that's
she
a huge racket. You
was
think
she
about
with
it.
was she creeping around? Is that what this photo is trying to allege?
Oh, so like it was like her fault of, I guess, like a wreck. You know, if it's like more of your fault, to while the marriage is dissolved, then you know you got to pay more or some shit.
Wow. Well, maybe
So I
she
guess
was
like
out
the
there doing some
50%.
things, but
I guess the 50% could be like a compromise. You know, maybe you look at it that way. But still, though, I mean, I don't know. It should be some type of protection in place. I guess, well, prenuptial agreement will be the protection in place for that.
but they don't have, they don't have it. Like this was the
Lesson
picture.
learned.
So I guess they saw her talking to another dude, I guess, and the paparazzi got it. And then one of the other pics they had was this one. Hold on, let me show you.
Oh, screen share that shit. See what's up.
Oops. Gotcha.
What the fuck off, you fucking asshole, paparazzi?
Look, this is the look. Look, apparently you can annotate with this shit, which is cool. I just discovered that today. But look. That look on her face is like, you motherfucker. Damn.
Fucking paparazzi.
That sucks.
Yo, and that's like another thing, because like, I mean, obviously she shouldn't have been creeping, I guess, like on a dude or whatever. But like, what? I mean, I don't know, man.
That's expensive.
It's expensive creeping. You know, like I don't know. I mean now, you know what I'm saying? After I was in a relationship for 10.5 years, and like I could never be in a relationship like from this point on with someone that I don't have like some type of understanding with. Like, yo, you know what I'm saying? I'm not, you know, I don't know. If I'm making a commitment, I'm making a commitment, but I don't know. I gotta be like we gotta have like some type of loose rules or something. You know what I'm saying? Until like it really gets serious. Because like if I'm getting married, then like I mean I guess that's it. But I don't know. I don't think I can see myself really getting married anymore.
What makes you say that?
Well, I don't know, because of shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, what if like, you know, like I meet somebody like within the next like 6 months, and then we start dating over like 2 years, and you know by that time I'm like 34, you know, 33, 30, you know, some shit like that. So like, you know, I want to settle down or some shit like that. It's all going right, and like maybe my career or something's taking off at the same time, and like, you know, say like things blow up, and then like, you know, I got bread now, so like now I want to get married and shit like that, and then like I like come into like some super bread or whatever, but like she's still like doing shit, but like, you know, like chilling at the crib, which is like fine by me at the time. But then like something happens like 5 years down the road where she's like, oh, I'm chucking deuce, and you know, like, and I got to pay child support, all kind of, you know what I'm saying, all kind of bullshit. Yeah, I ain't looking forward for no shit like that. I mean, ladies out there, if you hear this, best believe we getting a prenup. And it's not like I ain't gonna, you know, like I'm leaving you with nothing, but like, nah, fam, I ain't going out like that. Like Willie Lump.
We definitely need to have like the woman perspective of this, like that. You know,
we probably should call somebody, man. I wish we had like somebody to call. I wish I had friends and shit like that, lady friends, but I don't know. Like, so I don't know.
We'll say this, listeners, viewers, if you ever want to hop on, hey, open invitation. We have different guests. You know, we just like people hopping on, joining the conversation. So if you're ever interested,
shit we could definitely talk about in the comments, because I be looking in the comments and shit, like on YouTube, and we could continue the conversation on Twitter and shit like that. But like, yeah, for shit show, like, I mean, I don't know, man. I really wish we could get like a lady's perspective on this. I mean, you're married though, like, how do you feel about it? Like, that's kind of a different perspective.
Yeah, I mean, the concept can be confining if you're not with the right person. I mean, I know that part. I'm good. I'm happy. I have no complaints. So for me, you know, I got lucky in the sense that I found somebody that I'm compatible with, somebody I don't butt heads with, common interests, we're easygoing, our personalities just kind of mesh and flow. But if you're in the wrong situation where you have somebody and you're constantly bickering at each other, you don't have common interests. I mean,
you're really like not in the right
work,
situation.
but I think they take a lot more effort, you know. So,
and sometimes it's not worth it because it doesn't work out, you know. So it's kind of like you look back at it and you're like, "Yo, I kind of put too much into this," you know. Like I don't know. Sometimes I think back at the times where, like, you know, like had pillow talks with a person and shit like that. You know, and like we got, you know, real intimate and shit, like about what we want to do with each other and shit like that, you know, and it just don't work out. And like you look back at that time, you're like, man, what the fuck was I even thinking and talking about like that? You know, and it makes you sad.
Hindsight's 2020 though, man. I mean, sometimes you think you're with somebody that's the right person and it just doesn't work out. You know, like I mean,
and that's not a knock on her at all either. Like, you know, but like like you said, it just doesn't work out, anything like that. It's just not at that time, you know. It could be some shit like that, or it's like, yo, y'all both have to grow, or some shit like that. But that's why you should never really jump into getting married. I really believe.
Yeah, until you're feeling it, you're both right. And the funny thing is, we've talked about timing before and how much that goes into you know relationships. I mean, that's what sucks. Sometimes circumstances are the only thing that's in the way, but you know.
All right. I definitely believe that, like, you can run into like your soulmate, or like you can feel that feeling that, you know, like this is the person you want to be with forever, and like it won't work out, but then, like, you know what I'm saying, like maybe like sometime down the road, like you could pick up where you left off. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm definitely a firm believer in that.
For sure. Yeah, definitely. I mean,
but yeah,
that's why you don't
burn
a bridge.
Yeah, for sure. That's exactly why. Because you never know when you got to cross that motherfucker again. Never know.
So, segue, burning bridges, not burning bridges. Cam Newton didn't burn bridges. He was pretty much left out to dry. You know, I think Cam Newton going unsigned for so long, a lot of it had to do with people having concerns with his health. I'm kind of bearing the lead here. The Patriots signed Cam Newton. 1-year deal, $7.5 million contract. My initial thoughts, I love it. I think it's cool as shit that the Pats, you know, maintain relevance by having a star quarterback. I'm a Belichick fan regardless. So even though I'm a Brady guy and I'll follow him wherever, I still push, you know, I'll still pull for Belichick. And the fact that they got Cam, it's exciting. They've got somebody else that'll make them fun to watch. So I think that'll keep me
He's still fairly young too.
Yeah, he's our age. He's our age. So it keeps me invested. It makes the division more entertaining. I think the AFC was Kansas City, and then everybody else was just a sharp decline after that. Even Baltimore. I think Baltimore kind of caught a flash in the pan last year, but I'm not suggesting that adding Cam makes the Patriots an automatic contender, but it gives them a puncher's shot. You got a great coaching system. You got a great system. Now, they did lose some people in the offseason. They lost their offensive line coach, Dante Scarnecchia. You know, obviously they lose Brady. And they had some issues with receivers last year. They kept Sanu. They kept Edelman. And they've got a couple other guys. But, I mean, I think it'll be entertaining nonetheless. It'll be fun to watch them. And, you know, it'll kind of keep Brady versus Belichick, kind of a fun storyline, because now I feel like those teams are pretty equal, pretty even.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What's your feel? What's your feel on Cam joining the Pats?
I mean, it's definitely gonna be fun to see. Like I said before, this season is gonna be one of the most interesting ever, and that goes across like the landscape of all sports or whatnot. But definitely football. I mean, with the changes, did I hear something about AB being back?
Nah, I mean he's been in rumors of
And rumors
people saying the Buccaneers are not interested, but you also hear rumors saying the opposite. So who knows?
Okay, but going back to Cam, I mean, it's gonna be like very exciting, man, to see him in that system too, and see what he can like learn under Belichick. Because I mean, I know that like I could definitely see going far, and I can see him starting the dynasty over there. You know, if things don't really work out for Brady, you know, could just continue in the dynasty. I could definitely see that happen, and that'll be an interesting story, like you said. With Belichick, maybe like Brady won't get the movie in the end. Maybe like it'll be Belichick. You know what I'm saying?
Well, now it puts him in at least a puncher's chance. You know, it keeps them at least in the conversation. Cam's been to a Super Bowl. You know, now he's far removed from that player, and some might argue that that year was more of the exception instead of the rule. But you know, you've got a Heisman winner, national title winner, MVP. He's got a great resume. You know, and he's going to the best coach of all time in a system that only knows success with a good defense. And, I mean, he found success with some pretty shitty receivers. One thing I said in another group text, and a reminder, I'm the biggest Brady stan there is.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Playing with Brady is like kind of like playing with LeBron in the sense that they only want to play with veterans. They really don't want to make time to find chemistry and teach the young guys. They have less patience. They've got less time, you know, fewer seasons ahead of them. They've got more miles on them. They just want people that are ready, you know? So, I mean, You're going to gravitate more towards the veterans. But the Pats had some pretty talented draftees last year. Jacoby Myers was pretty decent. You know, he couldn't really get separation, so that's a different problem altogether. Same with N'Keal Harry. A lot of talent, but couldn't really get separation. I think they'll find a way to get these guys to improve. Cam can find a way to work with those guys. I think they'll just kind of like, you know, follow him around more because he's more that outspoken, you know, tough verbal leader. You know, whereas Brady is definitely that lead by example, but he's – you know, kind of like they say with the age gap after a while, it's harder to relate to somebody almost, you know, really their father's age. I'm sure there's players that have teammates that have dads that are his age. You know what I mean? So it's got to be kind of strange. Now you got somebody that's more almost like a big brother. I don't know. It'll be entertaining. And, again, I'm just painting the ideal. We still don't know how healthy Cam is. It could be a situation where he's still a shell of himself because he's injured. So – you know, there's a lot to be said, but I think it's fun. I think it's going to be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, for sure. And like the Pats, they're a smart organization. I don't think that they'll just, you know, flat out just, you know, go for someone that they don't have confidence in. So, yeah, I'm excited about it. Like I said, it's going to be a very interesting season. Very, very interesting. And to see how it's going to go without the fans, to see how like players are going to react to that on field, is going to be interesting in itself. So I don't know, but on a note with that, dude, like seriously, I think that with shit's kind of started, you know, within like the next month or two or to three, you know, I think by that time, man, especially with football, we might as well just kick it off regular. Like, fuck it. Like, take the risk. Like, sign a waiver. Pay for that shit. Like, let's have discounted tickets, man. Like, let's, you know, like, fuck this shit, dude. I'm like, kind of really, like, even though I don't do shit in the world, I'm, like, kind of tired of, like, everybody just bitching about, oh, shit's closed. Oh, people are at Spire and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm tired of, like, all just the talk and shit. It's like, yo, either just, like, put up or shut up. Like, you know, like, either stay home and like stop bitching about it, like what people are doing in the world and shit like that. And like when you are out there, like wear your mask, wear your gloves and shit like that. Or like, you know, fucking do your thing, you know? And, you know, just like try to abide by like the rules and the like mandates or whatever as much as you can. But I don't know, like if you really don't care about it, like I've been the last 3 or 4 months, you know, like it really doesn't affect you at all. Like at all. Like the only thing that like really affects me is like keeping a mask in my pocket. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go somewhere, just like, oh shit, I gotta have this when I go in here now. You know, and it's only like really been like that for the last week. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. So I hope with football, that like, man, we can have some fans in the stands.
We'll see. I don't know how they'll make it happen, but I mean that would be interesting. Could just be the
I'm sorry,
1
I got off on
year,
a tangent.
you know? Huh?
Yeah, but I'm sorry I got off on a tangent, but it's just so lame. Yeah, and I don't know. I think it's a lot bigger shit behind the stay at home, like the argument behind it and like how they're politicizing it and shit too.
A lot of
Like
people.
I just hope that a lot of people out there, like, if anything, man, early vote if you can. Like kind of going back to like what we were talking about earlier. Like early vote because it's so much easier. You have so much more of a window of time, you know, like, and you don't have to worry about lines and shit because not everybody are on that early voting shit. But everybody can do it. And it's easy. You can go anywhere. You don't have to go to your polling location. You can go anywhere open. So hopefully people go with that so they can get that done. So that's not like a big fucking deal, you know?
Yeah, because voting, right?
Yeah, I was hearing about some shit today. We can like move on about like voting by mail. You know, I heard like Texas was like fighting it or some shit like that. They don't want people to vote by mail because of fraud or some shit. But it's like, I don't know, make it to where like it's not fraudulent. That's like what people do, you know? Like that's what they get paid for, to security. TSA, put TSA on it. You know, not as many people are flying. You know, like something. I don't know. We can move on, man. What's next on the docket?
All right, next up, we got some NBA talk.
Okay, so still
could be the NBA will allow the players to wear social justice messages on jerseys instead of names, which is pretty interesting. So could say Black Lives Matter, I can't breathe. It could say a number of things instead.
Yeah, that's gonna be dope. First of all, I think that this should have been something that's went on, and not even just with the social justice messages and whatnot. I think that people should have always had like a personalization, customization of a jersey or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like with the Meta World Peace and the, you know, I don't know if any of our audience is old enough to remember like He Hate Me and shit like that from the first XFL.
I mean, they're definitely pushing, you know, the NBA's made it very clear where they stand on all of this with the support. They're even contemplating having Black Lives Matter painted on the courts when the season restarts in July. What, you know, this is the funny thing to a larger degree. I don't know that anybody could have predicted this, and I think when we look back, we'll be impressed with Adam Silver and the way the NBA as a whole handled everything, but also kind of under the radar. The NBA has dictated kind of the wave of the world in a way. You know, the NBA was kind of like the trigger to like let everybody know, hey, this shit is serious. You know, the NBA shuts down. That was like the domino effect that all of a sudden politics start getting involved and start saying, all right, well, you know, we need to start shutting shit down at the state level, right? Now, I feel like what's going to happen, the NBA is kind of saying, look, it's here. We have to deal with it. We have to find ways around it. You know, we've been saying that for a while now. It doesn't seem like it's going to go away anytime soon. You can't really just throw a year away. You know, you got to do what you can to kind of maneuver around it. And the NBA is taking that same approach. Now, you know, they were the ones in, you know, pushing for, hey, let's get back to business. You know, now the NFL never said they plan on delaying the season, but they also got lucky that they didn't really have to.
They came in the sweet spot.
It's so far away. The NBA happened like you know, it happened in the middle of the season, but in a lot of ways, I feel like the NBA is kind of setting the landscape for how the whole world is moving around and how the U.S. is moving around.
Well, definitely the U.S.
Crazy.
And since they've been off, I mean, it's kind of, you know, obviously socially went back in the hands of the government or whatever, which is a shit show. And because, you know, it's different levels of government, you know, state, local, fucking, and national, federal, whatever. But, I mean, yeah, definitely with the NBA, they have kind of set the president, the precedent for, you know, leading the forefront in the fight of COVID-19. You know, the war on COVID.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's great. It kind of shows the leadership in Adam Smith. I mean, not Adam Silver. I don't know who the fuck is Adam Smith. Adam Silver,
like revolutionary dude.
Yeah.
1770.
It's like, nah, it's like my uncle or some shit like that on my grandma's side. But
well, you know,
nah,
and
yeah,
not only COVID, but also with the civil rights thing, you know, social justice, and you know, the NFL. I don't know if they ever flat out told people, "Hey, don't make political statements," but look at what they said with Kaepernick. You know, whether you think he sucked or not, which again, I'll tell you flat out, I saw his play decline every year, but I mean, it's pretty obvious he had the scarlet letter on, you know, and people just didn't want to touch that situation, whatever the case. And that's not fair to him. But it's interesting now looking at, you know, the NFL, what happened with that and the NFL's culture versus the NBA, where, you know, players like LeBron, Chris Paul, whomever, the stars in the league have been able to say whatever they want on social media freely without any kind of reprimand, any kind of repercussions. Right. And that's kind of gotten the rest of the masses paying attention, because people watch sports, people pay attention to sports. The moment they started making politics leak into it, actually, I feel like got people paying attention to it. So if anybody's a big winner in 2020, I feel like the NBA is
definitely all around
leading right now for sure.
All around.
Right next to Bad Boys 3.
Yeah, for sure. Hell yeah, right next to Bad Boys 3. You know, with the differences between the NFL and the NBA, politically, I kind of chalk up to you know, the NFL is kind of it's more geared towards the flyover states. When you got the NBA, like all their teams are kind of, you know, the coastal teams, you know, the coastal city teams, like, you know, the liberal coastal cities, and, you know, the flyovers, like, you know, conservative or whatever. But like now, since kind of like this, you know, with the social justice movement of this year, it's kind of like, you know, more in your face. Everyone, and, you know, the NFL kind of not even being on TV this whole time. You know, everyone kind of has to fall in, like, because not only is sports like being very vocal in this shit, but all the companies on TV and shit like that. I mean, every fucking like commercial and shit like that. You know, it's like you got all this support, it seems. But at the same time, I mean, like that's all fine and dandy. But I don't know, like what really has to change, I believe, like for us to get better, like so it doesn't have to be about this shit, because like it's all good that it is. But I think that, like, you know, like the shit has to be done, you know, like actually, like, because we can't just like keep talking about this shit like forever and ever, man. Like shit has to be done so we don't see these injustices anymore, so we can get off of it, you know. Like,
well, I think it starts with the biggest, you know, role models and kind of the people at the top, right? And icons out there. And, you know, people like LeBron, when you look back at history and Muhammad Ali changing his name, same with Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, you know, Lou Alcindor and Cassius Clay, changing their names, making political statements, you know, and especially Muhammad Ali being kind of iconic to his times and speaking out for what he believes in. You know, LeBron is kind of, I feel like, in a certain icon, you know, iconosphere. I don't even know if that's a fucking word, but he's in kind of in that same lane with, you know, setting the tone for how a super duper athlete and super duper celebrity does everything right and is now, you know, helping fight for you know, social justice. The most recent news, of course, LeBron James gets $100 million investment to build media empire. Him and his longtime business partner, Maverick Carter, have formed a new company with an unapologetic agenda. So clearly they have a certain angle. But basically, they are putting together a media company that is pushing for I don't want to butcher the statement because, and of course they don't make it clear in here, but basically, pro-black, pushing for, more exposure, more awareness of, the talents out there that have often been underserved.
Right.
Let me find these specifics on that.
Yeah, that's great. Cause I don't know, man, like for me as like being black, like I just hated just having BET growing up. You know what I'm saying? Cause like, I don't know what it is, but like BET was always kind of whack to me, like because it wasn't as like cool. I always felt like it was like all behind. So it's good that like somebody's like stepping up to like, like put another channel on, like, just have more black shit. We were talking about the Tyler Perry shit, like how Tyler Perry kind of like monopolized black media for like 10 years, like straight up. And that's not a debatable statement or whatever.
100% true. I mean, like you said, like BET.
Yeah.
Oh, you forgot about the CW, UPN.
Well, I mean, those were great. But like, but at that time, that was in like a kind of a pro-black time in media. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, everything through the 90s. You know what I'm saying? Like all the best movies, and like all the best TV shows and all that sitcoms and shit were all like black shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it was just real heavy.
Here's the specific phrasing that Bloomberg used. SpringHill Co. That's the agency they put together, is a maker and distributor of all kinds of content that will give a voice to creators and consumers who've been pandered to, ignored, or underserved. So kind of in that underserved statement, but yeah, I mean, I'm with it. And again, it's unlike things you've seen, and it's funny because right now, people will often compare LeBron and Jordan. People are wise enough to know they're so different that they're hard to compare. But now it's almost like people are kind of comparing them as philanthropists and how they'll be remembered as icons instead of just basketball players. And, you look at how LeBron's been involved with all this, and you don't want to say, oh, you've been less involved, so you're going to be penalized for that. But LeBron's been vocal and ahead on this since day one. So I think people will remember that about him just as much as his contributions on the court.
Right. For sure. I kind of put it as Jordan was kind of like a natural icon. Oh, and not because it was mostly because of his skill on the court. Oh, and he didn't really have to open his mouth so much. Everybody loved Michael Jordan just because like he brought everybody together because of how he played. Like
competitive.
Not only does LeBron have that, it's not on the scale of Jordan, I believe, in my opinion. But I mean, him being vocal has kind of put him, and this is a world where everyone has a Twitter, everyone has a Facebook, like everyone has a voice. So that shit is kind of like encouraged more. So like you kind of have to, people look at you crazy if you don't. Like the shit with the No Name calling out J. Cole and shit, about him not speaking up for social justice when he like was put out like a song like the next day type shit, It's just like I don't know, people like look for that type of shit now. You got to say something, because you have the tools to do it, all day, every day, and you can do it for anything else, like he used to be dancing, putting us on to the music and shit like that. Like he's cultural in that way, like he's like a kid. Like I mean, he is like the millennial. You know what I'm saying? If you think about it.
Yeah, that's true. I mean,
he is like the
self-made,
millennial.
High expectations.
Yeah.
Exceeded them still.
I kind of just made that up. But yeah, he is like the how would you say, quintessential millennial.
Yeah, the
I think so.
ideal, right?
Yeah, like he's what you think of when you think of millennial, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And that's probably why I kind of like hate on him so much, because I'm like a little bit more old school, even though he's older than me. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yeah.
just like he's ahead of his time, like with that. You know what I'm saying? Like we all kind of like his sons, so even more so like than Jordan. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, Jordan was like kind of more natural and shit, but like nowadays, like how niggas are, like, you know, like it's like LeBron. Damn, I kind of just came across that like, you know, just came across that. That's wild.
Wow, man.
Yeah, man.
So, last thing we had on the docket for current events. Well, this is more of a forecast instead of a current event. But AMC announced Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul's docuseries called The Broken and the Bad. So Giancarlo Esposito will host a new digital docuseries on AMC.com. That's Gus, for those that don't know. The Broken and the Bad will focus on moments from dramas Better Call Saul and Breaking Bad, and then tie them into similar real-world stories. The web series will premiere July 9th to coincide with the week of special Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul programming on AMC. So basically, man, we're entering in a great month. Or we're welcoming in a great month. July is going to have the resumption of sports. We've got shit like The Broken and the Bad. We got July 4th. It's the second half. I'm excited about that. First of all, I'm really excited about July, but that show is going to be good, man. That show is going to be really good. I'm in with like more stories within that canon, you know, within that universe.
Oh, for sure. Like I mean, first of all, that was just like a phenomenal show, and like even Better Call Saul is pretty good. Like I haven't finished watching it or whatever. I kind of stopped watching it a couple of years ago, but I heard that it's, you know, continuing on to like be as good, just as good. It was a little too slow for me. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of felt the same.
But,
I liked it, but a little slow.
Yeah, a little too slow or whatnot. But like still, you know, like that world that Vince Gilligan created is, I mean, just fucking great. You know what I'm saying?
Great writing too.
Yeah. Anything Breaking Bad, like shit, I'm down for it. You know me, I don't even like be watching TV and shit like that. You know, like unless it's like some like really, really, really good shit. Actually, speaking of good shit, speaking of like TV shit for like a little bit, I kind of started watching Waco on Netflix last night. I was kind of, you know, fiddling through my phone and shit at the same time, so I really wasn't watching it too much. But man, like it was good. It's like a limited series, so I think it's like 3 or 4 episodes, something like that. And it was pretty dope because like I always thought that the Waco shit was like fucking fascinating, because that was like one of the first like live news things that I knew that was like going on for like days and days and days. That shit went on for like months or some shit like that, you know. Or at least like the initial standoff.
That was weird, man.
That
whole story is so weird.
Yeah, it is. But like, yeah, it's like a little like, I think it's maybe 3 or 4 episodes. But you know, like I watched like a little bit of the first episode. It was kind of slow, kind of weird, and you know, but it's developing, you know. So you kind of like, you know, develop. I don't know.
Things.
I like to get into shit like real quick.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But nah, it seemed like it was really good. I'm gonna check it out again tonight. When I'm not like try to actually check it out. Because it's a lot of good shit on there. Because like I haven't ran out in Netflix like you have. You know what I'm saying? You tell me.
There's still plenty I haven't seen, but you know, I like some of those British shows like Luther, because they get to the point. You know, it's like they know you probably don't have the most patience. Let's get to the point and just, you know, get the action and the story going. Because shows, I mean, I feel like we've talked about this before too, where you know, the standard is usually 13 episodes, right? Or sometimes you'll have 10. You know, with like a Netflix, you'll usually have 10. I feel like a lot of time 8 is enough. You know, it's
for
not
the first season. Yeah, for the first season, hell yeah.
Oh yeah, because I mean, it's not common that you're gonna have shows like Ozark or Breaking Bad that find a way to just fit infinite storylines and infinite happenings and shit like that into the same universe. But you know, it's most shows I feel like need to cut back instead of add more. And I think what also helped Breaking Bad was during the writer's strike, was season 1. So they had to keep season 1 real short. I think it was like 7 episodes. But as slow as it was, it got to the point kind of quick, and shit really started picking up in that 3rd episode where you're like, damn, okay, like this is a real show now. You know what I mean?
All right, man. Appreciate it. Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Doing yeah, like I mean, I don't know, man. Like when you got great writing and shit like that, I mean, it just flows. But yeah, 7 episodes, 8 episodes, first season. Let it ride for like 3 months, 3 or 4 months before you come back into the second season. Like get some talk about it, and then that's when you really know if you want to do something. You know, like and sometimes a lot of shows should get second chances because sometimes people aren't into like shit, you know what I'm saying? But that's when it falls back to like marketing and shit like that, So I don't know, man. Like I feel good about TV and shit, especially for this month of July. Like hopefully this month kind of kickstart,
nice.
like you know what I'm saying, like a little bit of life back into the world, I don't know.
Change from the norm.
Yeah, man. Because like I feel like people are mad about like not being able to go out to bars and shit like that, but like you can still kind of find some bars that are still open, whatnot. Certain ones, and I don't know. Maybe
why though? Why even go? Just chill at home.
Yeah, just chill at home. Like really, that's what I was kind of getting to. Like just chill at home, man. Like there's nothing really out there that's like great. Like all the shit that I'm hearing about on the news outside of COVID and like, other like little bullshit is like motherfuckers getting shot and all kind of shit. Like it's always like out like like over groceries and some shit like that. Like fucking, I don't know, man. Like fucking stay home. Like if people really chill out, like if you go to timeout, like then you could go back and play outside, But like if you like keep sneaking out of timeout, like you just go put it back in the timeout.
Yeah, that's what I don't get. Just let it run its course, kind of thing. Just chill.
Yeah,
let the shit go. Like let it calm down. Whatever. Let it pass. Like just deal with it.
For sure. I mean, we got nothing else to do.
We're all on house arrest. Everybody's on house arrest.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. You can still go hang out with your friends. Go hang out at a park. Like tomorrow, dude. Like I don't know what made me think of that shit. I guess it was me like biking and shit all the time, but. Like for my birthday, I just want to go on like a massive bike ride with my friends. Like seriously, like some shit that you do when you're like 8, and like not even for your birthday, it's like for every day, but like a massive just like gang bike ride. We're just gonna meet here in the afternoon, maybe leave here around like 5:30, so we like catch sunset because it gets dark late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And like I get back and forth to like spots and shit in like an hour and a half. So. If y'all are listening and y'all like my buddies and shit like that, we're meeting. If y'all hear this shit on Wednesday, like this shit will come out on my birthday. So yeah, man, come meet us this afternoon. We're gonna ride for the train all the way to Spots Park, man, on bikes. And it's fun. It's a fun ride. Yeah, thank you, man. Thank you. This is gonna be great. It's gonna be a great year.
Much needed birthday celebration.
For sure, for sure.
The weird thing about like this summer versus summers from the past, and this is kind of those random thoughts, like looking back to flashbacks. We always had like summer blockbusters, we always had a big movie to look forward to. We've always had like an Avengers. We've always had something going on. And like, I just think about, we talked about the last episode. I hope cinema exists, years from now. I really enjoy the movie going experience, but the whole blockbuster thing, not having summer blockbusters this year is kind of weird. And I mean, just looking back, I only have fond memories summer blockbuster days.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we both worked at the movies, so we knew what that was like when you had, the big release, midnight release.
Mm-hmm.
It's strange, but I don't know. I miss those days for sure.
I do, and that shit. It was crazy. That shit seems like it's so far away. You know what I'm saying? Like this year has been like a long ass year. Like really since like February. Like the last movie that I saw in the movies, and like, you know, we talk about this because it's the GOAT movie of the year. Like, you know what I'm saying? Has to win Best Picture this year. It was Bad Boys 3. You know what I'm saying? Like, that was, and that was, shit was fun. That was randomly on the ho-hum. Like, you know, like, it was like barely anybody in there, but it was a dope movie. Like, and that was seemed like so far ago. And there's no good summer, like, blockbuster movie to look forward to right now.
In a lot of ways, that movie like was the blockbuster release, you know, like
it was
March whenever it came out, like
and
that kind of in a lot of ways.
Usually that shit was like a summer release, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, because I remember in like a 02 or 03, whenever Bad Boys 2 came out, that was like the summer movie. You know what I'm saying? I remember in like 94, 95, when Bad Boys came out, that was like a summer movie, you know, like it was like some shit. You was out of school, you had nothing to do that Friday, so you went to the movies like early. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if y'all did it like this, but whenever like my mom would take us to the movies, or like whenever we went to the movies, we would like pay for a movie, right? And then like see like 3 more.
Yeah. Especially in the summertime.
Yeah, in the summertime, like fuck it. We would do that shit like twice a week. We see like all the fucking movies, you know what I'm saying? That's like why my knowledge is so like up there with that shit. Yeah.
Sad days. Well, these were all the movies that were gonna come out, and
go through them.
Some of them. So what? Like Artemis Fowl. I don't even know what that is.
Looks fucking whack.
Irresistible, Steve Carell movie. Feel like we all have seen that movie already.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman 1984. So that was supposed to have come out June 5th.
I was kind of looking forward to that.
Yeah, now October 2nd, which, I mean, if shit's still like it is, maybe it gets pushed back again, you know, who knows? But now,
you know what?
June
but
5th,
now that really kind of seems like an October movie now that I'm kind of putting it into perspective.
It's like a Halloween vibe almost, like,
yeah,
you know, like flashback, costume, you know, it brings a lot of hype to wearing that costume.
Yeah,
but
that
who
really
knows what Halloween
like
even is, you know?
It should come out like this summer anyway. So that's a good one. All right.
Candyman. Originally June 12th, but now September 25th, which I'm okay with.
That's actually a little better. I'm okay with that. Closer to Halloween, fall movie, you know what I'm saying? We were kind of planning into like, you know, maybe even like trying to take a road trip around that time, you know what I'm saying? So like it'll be something cool to see, because I like going to the movies out of town. You know what I'm saying?
It's kind of cool.
Like, so like maybe that'll be dope. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, it takes place in Chicago, so it might be kind of a cold vibe. You know, I'm alright with that.
Yeah, I don't know why he being Jordan Peele, he always tends to release movies in the spring. Like Get Out was in February. Us was in March. Remember we saw Us, and then, you know, Candyman was slated for June. I like September. I like going into the fall. You know, it'll still be 100 degrees here, but, you know, we're going into Halloween. I'll probably wait a week or two to see it so it has October vibes already. So,
yeah.
In the Heights. I don't know what that is. It says it's an award-winning musical, so I'm not interested. Sorry about that.
Yeah, that's fucking lame.
Top Gun Maverick. Originally June 26th, so that would have been last Friday. Now December 23rd. So basically it's a Christmas movie.
No,
which
I don't care.
That also kind of makes sense, I feel like. It's like a nostalgia.
That seems like one of those movies that'll come out like at any time, and it would just be like, oh, that shit came out already.
Yeah.
You know, like,
I forgot it came out already for sure.
Yeah.
See, that's why Bad Boys 3 is so rare, because I feel like it's the same thing, but obviously that wasn't the case.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Free Guy. Have you seen this one? The trailer for it?
Nah. Hey,
So,
I'm actually gonna let's play it, because I'm actually gonna dust, and I gotta plug up I only got like a little bit of juice left.
All right, we'll play it. This one's actually kind of entertaining.
Sam, we'll try to talk a lot over it so we don't get like fucking flags or some bullshit.
Yeah, so cool, we get it. A lot of, you know, it's made from a lot of the same people, whatever. See somebody flying, parachuting down, a whole new world. Crazy shit, cars blowing up, downtown cityscape. Boom, you're inside a bank, right? No, not yet. Of course, you got to have. You know, I like Ryan Reynolds, but I feel like he's too much Ryan Reynolds. You know, like before the weird Kevin Spacey stuff, I couldn't get down with Kevin Spacey because I feel like he was too Kevin Spacey. Sometimes Ryan Reynolds is a little bit too much Ryan Reynolds. You know, like Mariah Carey, bubbly, over the top, but that's the role. So, bank robbery, they all get down, they comply, they're going with it. Crazy shit's going on outside. This is his day to day. You come to find out he's in a video game.
What? Oh, okay, wait.
Situation in the bank.
This is kind of dope.
This time he says, "Nah, I have questions." Fights back. And he's like, "I'm going to be a hero now." And then all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, it's a video game."
Oh, shit.
Wearing glasses, boom, he's in a video game.
Oh, shit. Nah, this actually looks pretty. This is dope.
Yeah. It's a cool concept for sure.
Oh, yeah. And Ryan Reynolds is kind of like the perfect person to play this shit.
He is, but at the same time, I hope it's not like he's like all in your face, like it's a Ryan Reynolds movie. Like it's a Ryan Reynolds movie, yes, but like I hope it's not one of those just like so obnoxiously like Deadpool. The first one I liked. Once the second one started coming around and it became about like, oh, Deadpool, like we're gonna show him all the time and break the fourth wall, and it got too much, you know.
Yeah, for sure. And what's crazy is like I feel like he's typecast like a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like since Van Wilder, he's been like Van Wilder in every movie, and I guess that's just kind of like him. And that's cool because like you know I actually don't mind actors like that because I think that part should be written for them in a way. Like you know if they can play that part. But yeah, Deadpool, he got repetitive. He gets a little repetitive in the same role. Or a lot of his roles kind of like running together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's hard to kind of separate. I agree with that.
But I'm kind of looking forward to that. What did I say? December 11th? Yeah, that's
December 11th. Yeah, it's supposed to be July 3rd.
That's a good. That's a good Christmas time movie. You know what I'm saying?
It'll be fun playing video games and shit.
Hey, that's gonna be dope for December. So that's like it's like a good thing to look forward to because like it'll be kind of cool if the bars and shit still closed then. Because I think people need to learn a lesson. Like you don't need to like go out and drink and shit all the time. Like go watch a fucking movie, and then go out to like dinner and talk about shit.
Yeah.
You know?
Purge 5. I didn't even know they were making another Purge.
Okay, I feel like they don't need to make this movie because it's gonna happen.
Well, maybe they feel the same because it says this has been postponed indefinitely. July 10th. I'm yet to find one that I haven't found entertaining though. Like even the last one was a pandering to a certain extent, but I mean,
you know what's kind of crazy, and I'm gonna be real tenfold chance right here, but we gonna see what happens actually on July 10th in like 11 days, because that'll be some shit to kind of look forward to. You know
it's just like instead of that, it's just
it's real. Like we get to live it. It's like it's like that movie that we was just what was that shit? The Ryan Whittam shit.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, nah, we this is just the movie. Post on it. Hey, it'll be good to get a cut of that shit. That'll be dope.
Yeah. So this was a little bit late. It said Tenet, or it's a little bit behind. July 17th. They actually pushed that one back to September. We talked about that last week. Or August. August. Sorry. Jungle Cruise. I forgot about this shit. I think he looks ridiculous wearing the hat. The Rock, that is. Remember, we still think he needs to play
Hellfire. All right, I love The Rock. Y'all know how I feel about The Rock, man. He the most electrifying man in sports entertainment. But, like, and the people's champ. You know what I'm saying? But why is he always in the jungle, like, or, like, in a burning building or in a helicopter or, like, some shit like that, man? He always doing some wild shit. Like, I feel like The Rock is we've talked about this before, I feel like. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's better than this, man. Like, he got to get off this bullshit ass Disney ass movies, man. Like for real.
He's marketable, high approval rating. So, but
For
I feel you.
sure.
I want more like hardcore action movies with The Rock.
He needs to turn into the Rock Obama and motherfucking run for fucking president. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. All right, French Dispatch. Who cares? Barb and Star go to Vista Del Mar. That was like that goofy bridesmaid type movie. They had commercials.
Kristen Wiig and shit. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine, but
same
that basically
plot, same people.
Skips a year. July 31st this year gets pushed to next year. That really sucks because they put a lot of money into that for the Super Bowl too. I remember that commercial. Morbius.
That's what you get for spending that amount of money on fucking advertising. You know,
sometimes you have to.
Yeah, but I feel like, man, there's so many channels and different like ways to get, you know, like mediums to get your media out there or whatever. You know, like I don't know. I feel like we spend.
It might be a zero-sum game, but it all ends up being the same.
Yeah, like I mean, we spend too much money on like shit like advertising and shit like actors, and we pay actors
supply and demand. It's the
but
business.
The movies are shit. The movies for the past 10 years outside of Marvel shit has been shit. You know?
They're all shows now. That's why they're all shows now.
Yeah, but they still pay these actors like an astronomical amount of fucking money, like Tom Cruise.
Again, though, it's all supply and demand. The reason why advertising costs so much is that's where everybody's at. You pay to get in front of that. People remember that. Look, I remembered that. Otherwise, I would have not even known what that movie was.
Okay, I get the gist of that, but I think we spend too much money, period, on shit. You know?
You're not paying any money on that ad.
I know I'm not paying anybody, but I'm saying just like if you could spend $100 million on a fucking television ad, you know, like that's
not
the budget
that
for the yeah, all right, but I mean that's a lot of fucking money for like, you know, like you could give that shit to a fucking school, you know. There's better shit.
No, I don't know. I don't agree. We'll agree to disagree and move on.
Okay.
Morbius, July 31st.
Is that that's
March.
fucking a Jared Leto? Oh, that's my nigga. I fucks with him.
That one's kind of strange, but that might be part of that Spider-Man universe, so that'll be interesting to see what they do with that.
Bill Leto movies are dud. Oh, I'm actually looking forward to this shit.
That one they actually moved up.
That's cool.
That was supposed to be August 21st. Now it's going to be August 14th. And then there's just some other shit, you know. This looks like another
Monster Hunter.
Resident Evil type thing called Monster Hunter.
Generic as shit.
Yeah, I'm out on that. But yeah, it's weird having a world with no blockbusters, but you know.
Yeah. I mean, the at-home movies I heard, like, you know, doing pretty well. I'm not really watching them and shit. So I haven't really gotten a lot of, like, recommendations. I don't know.
Yeah. There haven't been a lot of new ones coming out.
Yeah.
But, all right, last topic I had, let's get deep topic for the week. Outrage culture. We talked a little bit about this last week. We've talked about outrage culture millions of times on the podcast.
Yeah, this actually what this podcast was originally about.
Yeah,
right?
it's kind of like
outrage on outrage.
Outrage about outrage, right? Well, now maybe this is like one of those self-realizations that you have after 38 episodes, but I started wondering, is outrage culture really real? You know, and to get into what I mean by that, we put so much stock. What is outrage culture, right? It comes from what people say. And where are they using to measure what people say? They're looking at social media, looking at tweets, they're looking at comments on Instagram, Facebook, whatever. That's what everybody is saying, right? But how many times, you know, there are like the Karen, you know, that goes on pissed off and, oh, this is ridiculous. There are some people like that that express outrage. But for the other people, maybe you just comment because you're bored. You're just saying something in passing. Or you're quarantined for, 4 months. And you're like, I'm just going to comment on everything because I'm bored as shit. Why not? Right. You really might not care all that much. But when you see hundreds of people saying like, hey, this actually sucks. whatever, you might not really care, but the fact that so many people said it, we've paid so much attention to that, and it, you know, leaks into this cancel culture, right? Oh, so many people said you suck, we need to get rid of you, you're bad. Maybe people don't really give a fuck, and they're just kind of saying stuff in passing, and people are taking that and running with it and making it, you know, fucking gospel.
Yeah.
Hey, this is what you said. This is what it is.
You know what? Yeah, you're 100% right with that. Because I feel like, first of all, what metric are they putting all of the criticism from all of these different, you know, mediums of social media to, you know, shit what people are, you know, talking about amongst themselves and shit like that? Like, I mean, it just doesn't go into some machine and it's like, you know, like pulled out or anything like that. It's narratives that the media push, you know? So that's kind of like who runs all of that noise, you know, like in a sense, because I mean, yeah, you're right. Like, cause I do this shit too. Like, I will speak up on shit, you know, like on Twitter or talk about that shit, like on you know, like Facebook comments and shit like that. But like, I really don't care, you know, like. I really don't care at all. You know, it is fun to banter back and forth, like, you know, but at the end of the day, and like when it's all said and done, especially about like bullshit about like celebrities or, you know, all kind of shit like that, like I don't care. You know, like
It's so bent out of shape about things, you know, but equally, I think people pay so much attention to what other people say and just tend to make assumptions of, you know, hey, if you say this, this is what you mean. A lot of people don't really mean what they say.
right.
We seem to assign too much meaning to what people say, you know, instead of thinking like, hey, sometimes people just say shit in passing, you know. But I think as a result, when you look at like outrage culture, it's, you know, oh, you said this, people didn't like it because you got a bunch of negative tweets about this. We need to drop you from our brand. Because what can happen, they'll go start tweeting at that brand, oh, you're associated with this person, I can't believe it, you suck. So there is some level of outrage that follows people around, but I don't know that it's as bad as people make it out to be. And I think if people stand up a little bit more and just say, hey, deal with it, we wouldn't have as much of this cancel culture. You know what I mean?
Right. And you know, I remember at the top of the year, I think that was one of the first things whenever we recorded with Alan. I think maybe it was at the end of last year or something like that. But I remember like that PC shit in 2020. That shit's dead. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or like that cancel culture and like all that shit. Like, you know, like fuck that shit. Like, who really cares about, you know, what so and so did? I think it's fucked up when people like lose their jobs or like lose their endorsements because of like their opinions. You know what I'm saying? Because we're all entitled to our opinion. Like, why does that affect my work ethic or what I bring to your company or anything like that? Now, I will say, like, kind of with this, you know, the outrage kind of culture that has kind of still been going on, but it's kind of like a different, it's kind of a different angle of it, because I've seen a lot of people on like Facebook. Like, I've kind of gotten back into like using Facebook or, you know, like browsing that shit a little bit more, and I've seen a lot of people like calling people out on like their racism. You know what I'm saying? Like if they're like talking shit in some like news, like some local news story feed or something like that, and like they go a little too far or whatever, in the words like people, you know what I'm saying, like we'll fucking start doxing them and shit, you know, and like
that shit's bad.
No, but at the same time, like I mean, I don't know. I think if you are gonna say shit on the internet, if you are gonna express your opinion, like you should be responsible for the type of shit you say. Like, I mean, no one's really going for like bigotry right now. You know what I'm saying? So you kind of like should like hold your tongue with that, especially if you're on like Facebook.
Well, that, yeah, I mean, any kind of
hate your real fucking name and like your pictures of your grandkids and shit like that. Like, I mean, that's why like, you know, Twitter is kind of like a different thing, because like it's kind of more of a anonymous kind of thing. Like nobody really looks like at your Twitter and like finds out shit about like your fucking kids or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? But like, I think you got to pick and choose with your shit. You got to be smart about that shit, especially nowadays. I mean, if you don't want to, reap what you sow over what you say on the internet or what you say in like, out when you're at these protests or some shit like that, or counter protesting or some shit like that, you shouldn't be out there. You shouldn't do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because like this is a real sensitive time in things of bigotry. Like now, it was, people getting outraged culture over like, fat shaming or some like petty shit like that, like how we were the past 3 years. Not, I mean, how we were, but how, like fucking, people were over the past like 3 or 4 years, like, or even beyond that, that was a little petty and like, a little over the top. But like now it's kind of like, okay, this is like how you feel at this time, like, nah, fuck off. Like I believe in that. But before with that petty shit, like, nah, man, who cares? I don't care if, like, I don't know. I can't cancel someone over like their, like, I'm not with them like losing like a big endorsement or some shit like that. Like the Drew Brees thing, like we kind of like went overboard with Drew Brees. You know what I'm saying? It was like he was kind of really just like going automatic from, because how like, like they're kind of media trained and to like say like he was just on the old shit. Like no one told Drew Brees. Yeah, no one told Drew Brees to like, it's okay to like, you could kind of speak up for shit. Like now, you don't have to go with like what the league memo says.
He didn't get the memo, the real memo.
Yeah, he didn't get the memo, like, and that's kind of what's wrong with people. A lot of people, they're not in touch. And so when they do say things, like it comes off fucking crazy. So it's like, yo, what the fuck? Why do you think like that? Like, get with the program, like, or don't get with the program, but don't be a fucking like dickhead,
Right. Don't at me.
Yeah, don't at me, but like still, like, like be kind of conscious of like what you say. Like I've kind of like I've been trying to get a little bit better with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I'll still tell you to fuck off and shit like that. Like, oh wait, who I kind of want to say to fuck off? And maybe this is kind of maybe this is a part of deep shit, because it goes beyond just him being very, very trash, but he's very influential. And he kind of comes from the camp of Kanye, who's also very influential, but I feel like is mediocre right now. But Virgil, can we talk about Virgil real quick, man?
We gotta save that. Please. We gotta save that for Play It By Ear.
For Play It By Ear, but that's really not a music thing. That's actually kind of a culture thing. Like, and we can get into it a little bit more. But like, I just want to kind of like just get on Virgil for a little bit, just for a little bit.
Tee it up. I don't have any. I haven't done any kind of research.
Like, you've seen like Off-White shit, Like you've seen like
some. That's what I'm saying. I think it's better to save for Play It By Ear.
All right. Yeah, we can do a little homework on it. Let's do it because it does tie into music. Because with Pop Smoke, y'all can look that up for yourselves or whatever, and then listen to the Play It By Ear, and hear what we got to say about that. Yeah, okay, I'm with that. I could do that.
I like that. Cross promo. But
just show.
Speaking of Play It By Ear, we'll record that one ASAP. That'll be out this week. Hopefully we'll have Joc on that one. But if you haven't subscribed on Apple Podcast or on followed on Spotify, gotta do that. For both Play By Ear and Don't At Me. And then you can find both of those on the same YouTube channel. We have a shitty, non-user-friendly URL right now. So if you want to find it, you can subscribe. Help us get to 100 subscribers, and we'll get a custom URL. Way you can find it, you can look on Twitter at the Rep Network, social media. Other social media, we have at the Rep Network on Instagram, and then on Facebook at Repertoire TPN, like the podcast network. But if you go to therep.network, the website, you'll find everything you need, all the links you need for Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all the podcasts that we're pushing. We've got merch coming. I got a little secret, little treat for people coming. So we'll have some Don't At Me merchandise coming soon. And, of course, Joc, who isn't with us today, but, if he was here, he'd definitely be pushing his Pierre-style clothing. So we'll definitely try to get him on the next pod and have him do some plugs. But Chance, I know you probably have your own set of plugs, so I'll let you get to it before we break out.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, off the top of my head, y'all can follow us on like all the RepNet shit, but and we never get our personals on here, our personal Twitters, Instagrams, or anything like that. But you can find me at that nigga chance. That's DATNIGGACHANCE. On like I think that's on pretty much everything. You can find me there. Speaking of merch, not only with all the rep shit coming out, I'm actually gonna try to relaunch Chase's shit. I got like a few, like prints or whatever that he had left over or whatnot. So I'm gonna try to, get that back started soon. The evil fashion shit. Got to keep it going for little bro.
For sure, man. Well, you guys will see all that in the show notes. And, of course, all our social media will be in there, too. So subscribe, share the word, rate, review. Let us know what you think. Don't at me, but really at us. Tune in next week. See you.
I see y'all.
Yeah, that was a good one.